Hey guys, welcome to Yogana. My name is Anna, and today we're just going to do a flow for runners. So if you just got back from a long run, or even if you just went for a long walk, we're going to get really deep into the legs, the hamstrings, low back, and hips. So lots of lower body stuff going on today. Stretches, more stretches than strengthening poses. So if you want to go ahead and grab something comfy to flow in, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so today we're just gonna start in butterfly pose. So just coming to a comfortable seat, and then we're gonna bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees out wide. If this is really intense to start, you're welcome to bring those toes a little bit further towards the front of your mat, just for a little bit less intensity on the hips. If you want a little more intensity, bringing those heels closer to your body can help. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and lengthen as we inhale, tall through the spine. Exhale as we start to fold the heart gently over the feet. Nothing crazy here, just finding a soft fold over the feet, letting the knees relax as much as they possibly can. And then we're just gonna give ourselves a little foot massage just for a moment. So just pressing into the arches of the feet, maybe coming up to the toes, maybe even placing the fingers in between the toes. This just feels really, really good on the feet. Just giving them some love for all the places they take us, while keeping that heart slightly folded. Good. You might start to feel it really deep in the inner hips as well. We'll stop with the massage and then just pull ourselves a little bit deeper towards the feet. And then inhale, start to bring ourselves back up. And we're gonna get into a little twist. So we're gonna take that right foot, cross it over the left knee. If you wanna keep that left leg extended, that might help a little bit with the intensity again. But bringing that foot in can just get more into the hip, the right hip, and the left thigh. So from here, we're just gonna take the right hand behind us. Inhale that left arm up. Exhale as we cross the body, so the left elbow is just placed on the outside of the right knee. And then we'll just press into that right knee with the gaze just going beside you, or maybe even over the right shoulder, if that feels okay in the neck. That right ear can fall down to the right shoulder, or just gaze over the right shoulder. So whatever feels good. This is really good for, again, that right hip and the torso. Good. As we exhale here, we'll take the hands over to the left side of the body, press into the floor, the mat, and then just slightly bend in the elbows, just counteracting that twist. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So crossing that left leg over the right. Maybe again, keeping that right leg extended if that feels a little bit better, or bringing that heel in towards the left knee, or left hip. Good. Finding a nice tall spine, and then taking that left hand behind you, inhaling the right arm high, and then crossing the body as you exhale, placing it on the outside of that left knee. Again, just pressing deep into the twist, pressing that right elbow into the left knee to get a little bit deeper. And then just finding what feels good on the neck. Fixing your gaze and breathing here. Detoxing in the torso, really deep in the hips. Good. On the next exhale, we'll start to unwind and then counteract that twist again. So right hands go over to the right side. We'll slightly press into the palms, bend in the elbows, and then come back up. Good. We'll find windshield wipers with the knees. So we'll plant both feet a little bit wider than the hips. The hands are going to go behind you, fingertips aim towards you. And then we'll just let the knees fall side to side a couple times. Good. The wider the feet go, the more intense you get into those hip sockets. So if you want to bring them closer, if it's too much, or a little bit wider if you need a little bit more. Good. And then the next time the knees come back through center, we'll start to extend the legs. And then we're just gonna press the hips up. So pressing into the palms, the heels. We're gonna start to lift the hips high, and maybe the gaze goes up towards the sky or behind you slightly. Nice and strong in the core. Exhale as we slowly lower. Good. Bend back into the knees and then swing them behind you, coming to all fours. Good. So the knees are going to be hips distance wide. Maybe make your way up towards the front of the mat so you have room behind you still. And then we'll kick that right foot behind you, fully extend the leg, tuck the toes, and then reset those hands just underneath the shoulders. So we'll press into that right heel, getting into that calf, pulling in that stomach, activating the core. And then we'll cross the right foot over the left behind you. So the foot might go off of the mat just a little bit, that's okay. We're gonna take the gaze over the left shoulder and then just find a C shape here with your torso. So that left shoulder is gonna be aiming towards the left hip. Obviously they're not gonna touch, but just kind of moving that direction so that you breathe lots of space into the right side body, and then especially in that right hip. Good, coming back through center. And then from here, I'm just gonna turn to face you guys. You stay right where you are. We're gonna kick that right foot out beside us to the right. Good, so just finding a healthy distance here. You might need to adjust as we get deeper into this posture. We're gonna start to walk the hands forward as we melt the heart down. So from here, this is gonna get really, really deep into the right hip. You'll start to feel it, and we'll press the hips back for more intensity, or bring the hips a little bit further forward and the heart lifted for less intensity. And then we'll start to inhale, bring those hands back underneath the shoulders. And then we're gonna come into a kneeling side plank. So we'll kick that right foot behind us, turn those left toes towards your the left side of your body, and then extend and inhale that right arm high. Good, so just a kneeling side plank. Imagining there's a string pulling up that right hip towards the sky. And then starting to maybe lift that right foot off of the mat. Good, staying here really strong if that feels good, or even starting to bend in the foot, maybe reaching back and grabbing the toes. And if you can't quite reach the foot, that's okay. You're welcome to either just bend the leg or just keep it fully extended. If you grabbed onto the foot, we'll just slowly release it. Come out of it the way we came into it. Lower down that right foot and come back to all fours. Good. We're gonna press back into child's pose before we come to the other side. So just reset, give the knees a little break. Bring the big toes together. Arms reach out in front of you. Knees can be wide, that can get really deep into the hips, or knees together if that feels better in the hips. Good. And we'll start to make our way to the other side. So we'll inhale, start to lift yourself out of child's pose. Separate the big toes, separate the knees. Walk yourself back up towards the front of the mat. and then kick the left foot behind you. So we'll just reset the hands again, bring them back underneath the shoulder blades, and then press into that left heel, really getting deep into the left calf. Good. From here, we're going to cross the left foot behind the right, take it off of the mat, and then fix the gaze over the right shoulder, bringing that right hip point, that right shoulder towards each other. Good, and then we'll slowly release here, making your way that left foot over to the left side. So fully extending that leg as wide as it wants to go, walking the hands forward, melting the heart down, and then keeping the hips lifted or starting to press them back to get really deep into the hip. Good. On the next inhale, we'll begin to bring the heart back up, walk the hands under the shoulder, and then turn those right toes and extend the left foot behind you as you inhale the left arm high, finding that kneeling side plank. Imagining that left hip is aiming towards the sky and maybe even the foot goes with it. Just in line with that left hip. And then again, option to bend that left leg. Reach back with the left fingertips, grab onto the foot, roll the shoulder back. Get deep into that quad muscle on the left side. Open up the heart. Good. Exhale, release the foot gently, coming out of it the way we came into it. Lower down the foot, come back to all fours. Good, and then tuck the toes, make your way into a down dog. Lift the hips, pedal out the dog. Drop one heel, bend the opposite knee, switch sides a couple times. We already got into the calf muscle a little bit, so it might be a little bit more warmed up this time, but if not, just slowly warming up the hamstrings, the calves. Good, and then eventually pressing both heels down towards the mat, lifting the hips high, softening the knees as much as you need to, and tiptoeing up to meet your hands, finding a forward fold. Good. Again, as you land, soften the knees. No need to overextend here, just slightly bend them as much as you need to. Just focusing on releasing the head. So maybe even interlacing the hands behind the head, just gently letting the hands rest on the back of the head. Shaking the head out, yes and no. Releasing the shoulders, releasing the head, letting the blood rush to the head. Good, and then releasing the hands, slowly ragdolling yourself up. The head's going to be the last thing to rise. And find Tadasana, rolling the shoulders back, palms facing forward. Good, from here we'll move through a flow. So we'll inhale, arms come all the way up overhead. Exhale as we dive it down, forward fold. Inhale, hands go up the legs, half lift, flat back. Exhale, step back with your right foot. Hold here for just a moment. Drop the hips nice and low. Find a low runner's lunge. And then the left foot's going to go back to meet it. Find a high plank. Lower down like a little inchworm, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale as we lift up like an inchworm. Find cobra. Press that heart open. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, find down dog. Good. From here, we'll float or tippy toe up to meet our hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we're just gonna step that left foot back this time. Drop the hips nice and low. Find that low runner's lunge. Feel that deep stretch in the left hip. Breathe here. And then we're actually gonna drop that left knee. Untuck the toes and then move through a dynamic half split. So we'll press the hips back, fully extending that right leg. Take the hands with you. Heels are really good. If you have 2 blocks at home, you're welcome to place those here and take them with you as you move, just lifting the ground up to meet you. But if not, just kind of reaching towards the ground, pressing those hips forward, pressing them back, extending that right leg, slowly getting into that hamstring. Just moving one more time through that flow, and then holding the hips back. Good, so pressing that right hip, aiming it towards the back of your mat. Getting deep into that hamstring. And breathing here, letting that heart hover over the right knee. The shoulders stay down the spine. Good. And then from here, we're gonna move into an IT band stretch. So this is really, really intense. So if it's too much, just come right back into that half split. But that right heel is gonna come over to the left side of your mat. And then we're just gonna roll it open on the knife edge of the right foot. So you'll start to really feel it more into the IT band. Again, just breathing, leaving the heart lifted for less intensity, or starting to lower down the heart towards the leg for more intensity. Good. Just start to come out of it, so lifting that foot back through center, taking that heel up and over to the right side, and then pressing the hips forward, bending into the knee, lifting the heart up, hands up, and interlacing the hands behind you, keeping them on the low back, or pressing the knuckles away, really opening up in the heart. Good, bringing that heart back over the hips, releasing the hands, tucking the back toes, lifting up the knee, and then moving through some cat-cow lunges. So we're gonna lift the hips, slightly straighten through that front knee, find that cat. So arch the spine, shoulders roll in as we exhale. Inhale as we drop the hips low, bend in that back knee, heart lifts up, shoulders down the spine. Exhale as you arch, lift the hips, straighten through that front leg. Good, inhale as you drop, heart opens up. Exhale as you round. Inhale one more time, open up. Exhale as you arch. And then inhale, come back to that low runner's lunge. We're gonna move into a wide lunge. So heel toe that right foot to the outer edge of the mat and get deep into a wide lunge or lizard. So we'll go ahead and drop that back knee, untuck the toes. That right knee is going to be aiming in the same direction as the toes. So to protect that knee, we'll just stay with that knee coming in towards your body and towards the center line. Good, and then from here, we're gonna lift those back toes, heel toe the right foot in towards the center, and then that left foot's gonna come up to meet the right. We'll find that forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep the arms high. Exhale, palms come together at prayer. Good, from here we'll inhale, arms high. Grab onto that left wrist, pull yourself over towards the right side, open up in the heart. And then switch sides, arms come up overhead, grab onto that right wrist, Pull yourself over to the left. Let that right shoulder fall. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step that right foot back. Find the low runner's lunge. Good, and then from here, we're gonna drop that back knee, untuck the toes, move through that dynamic half split flow. So press the hips back. Inhale, bring the hips forward, bend in the knee. Exhale, press it back. Bring it forward. Re-extend. Last time, we'll bend. And then we'll press it back and hold. Checking in with that left hip. If it wants to come forward, just see if you can press it back. Lift the heart up, shoulders down the spine, and breathe. Good, we'll start to soften through that leg just slightly, bringing yourself forward and then taking that left heel up and over to the right side, getting into the IT band. So we'll go ahead and open up that left foot, coming onto the knife edge of the foot. And breathe here. Keeping those shoulders down the spine. If they want to start to hunch over, see if you can check back in, let them fall down the spine. Good, and we'll start to bring that foot back up, take it up and over to the left side, and then bring the hips forward. Good, from here we'll lift the shoulders up, the heart up, interlace the hands behind you, press those knuckles away, open up in the shoulders, roll them open, heart opens up, maybe gaze opens up. And then release the hands. Good, find that cat-cow low lunge. So we'll tuck the back toes, lift up the knee, and then arch to the spine, round the shoulders in towards the ears, straighten through that front leg, lift the hips. Inhale as we drop the hips, drop that back knee, heart opens up, shoulders down the spine. Good, exhale as you round. Inhale as you drop. Exhale as you arch. Inhale. Last time, exhale as you arch. Inhale as you open. Good. And then we'll start to bring both hands in towards the inside of that left foot. Heel toe that foot to the outer edge of the mat. And then drop that back knee, untuck the toes. Good. Let that left knee, left toes aim in the same direction. So if the knee wants to start to open up, let the foot open up too, just rolling onto the knife edge. But otherwise, keep that foot planted and that knee in towards the center line of your body. Breathing here, really intense in the hips. Good, and then we'll start to tuck the back toes, lift the knee, press that left foot back to meet the right, move through a flow, or just press the hips right into down dog if you want to skip the flow. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, find up dog. Open up the heart, lift the belly. Exhale, find down dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Good, make your way up to the front of the mat. Exhale as you land. Inhale, circle sweep the arms high. Exhale, palms come together at prayer. Good, and that is all we have for today. Hopefully your hips feel nice and open, your hamstrings feel nice and stretched out, and you have a beautiful day. Namaste.